go skate, they do it
Oh,
on
no shit.
Yeah.
Schedule.
Okay, so the assistant chief wanted to have a robust PowerPoint on this particular fire, and I think because it was unusual, it was incendiary, there were 6 different pour patterns, we lost the steps. Lieutenant Wilson radioed to us in a clear communication stating we have no access to the 2nd floor. And it was unusual in the fact that it's like a 3-story townhouse condo. We're not used to that kind of stuff. So I guess when you enter the 1st floor, you're kind of entering the 2nd floor because there's like a sub-level basement as well as the 2nd floor where the majority of the fires were. So she had 6 different pour patterns, and 4 of them were from the steps, or 5 of them were from the steps up. So apparently she's had, since 1995, 42 different insurance claims. 4 of them were arson.
Huh.
She's currently in jail right now, I guess. She went, once the cops and detectives started, yeah, once they started questioning her, she said, I need to be psychologically evaluated. So she went to Marymount for, I think, a 10-day evaluation, and then they picked her up when she got released.
How many insurance claims?
Like 42, 45 since 1995.
Wow.
So this was not insured, for obvious reason. Who was going to insure her? But she was under the impression that the condo association had some insurance, which they did, but not necessarily to cover her and to give her the money if there were.
Just the outside, right?
I think, yeah, just like a common area type.
Yeah, and if
I
a
would
fucking building
think.
was to fall over on a person.
So this was the 4th over a month ago, so I might need some help from Wilson, who was first in. The reason 21 was first in is because 12 and 42 just went out on an EMS run that turned into respiratory arrest. So as soon as we were heading out there, they were en route, both vehicles, to Euclid Hospital, which turned out to be a little bit of a pucker situation, but 21, you were right on my heels. So it came in as smoke, flames, no one else in there. Possible electric fire. So I listened to the dispatch.
Medic 1341 is
she made
dispatch.
it evidently clear that this
21.
was electrical. This was electrical. She said it 3 times.
Medic 1341 is arriving Richmond Hospital.
So I got there first. So it was at 11, 8 minutes later. I got there first, 21 right on my heels. And then as you can see, everyone else kind of followed suit. 52, Anderson did show up. He assumed Charlie for me, which was good because I got out of the vehicle and I couldn't monitor both. And the way it turned out, and I'll give you an idea. So this was the AD corner of the attached units. This is basically where I stood. We had to park on the D side. McDaniel was my driver. We parked on the D side just to get out of the way of the ladder truck. That's a thin driveway, so it took me out of where I wanted to be, so that's why I got out of the vehicle. So it's a good thing that Will was there. He monitored 2 while I was on 15, so he took care of some of the things like the Mavis that I dropped. So this is where Will stood on this corner. That's the hydrant that we hooked up on. So working fire, light smoke, Charlie's side. Until I was there for a few minutes and the smoke started coming out that front door, the A side. So we went offensive. Immediately when I saw that these were attached, my concern was that Bravo side exposure. 21 went attack with 41, took the Maddie through the front door. 13 showed up maybe 4 minutes later. I signed them to back up, but then reassigned after that. Once Chris said, we've lost the steps, that's about the time. Because I saw the light haze, the light smoke, I wasn't going to call for a Mavis. Even though I knew 12 and 42 were out, like this looks like something that's going to be a quick knockdown. But as soon as you said, we have no steps, I went, okay, let's get some help here. So another unusual thing about this is that narrow drive in front of it. Strand set the ladder truck up perfectly, where we could get the outriggers out on both sides and that he was able to manipulate the ladder and get the stick to that second floor. So that was perfect. So I reassigned 13 to Division 2, and I think that's when, who's your officer?
Banning.
So Banning, Ritalik,
Charles.
and Jaros. You guys, initially you put up ground ladders.
Initially put up ground ladders.
So we had the ground ladders off of 21, and then Strand, about that time, he started putting the stick up. So that's when I assigned you guys. And then Bernanke, once they got, I had them force entry on that Bravo exposure. So this is a good picture of what you'd see. So this is exactly what Wilson saw when you open the first floor,
Right.
second floor. So when you walk in, you go down maybe 5 steps into the first floor basement and go up those 8 steps into the second floor, or actually the first floor. Where we have the roof ladder there, those stairs are burnt out. So that would have went upstairs to the second/third floor. So the majority of the fire was right there. And there was some exterior damage to the siding, I think it was vinyl siding, to that D side where the majority of the fire was that took out those steps.
And that's what made it weird was it was kind of one of those things where it's like, why is this burning here?
Just right here.
And
It's
over
You know,
there,
there's no
right.
air conditioning unit on the outside of the house. There's no meter. There's no gas. That was like, why is everything over here, and why is there so much heat over here? So this was the landing that we were trying to get to, and when the stairs, it was when you came in through that garage. So I went in through the garage first, and it was a living room, and the stairwell came back up to the front door. So then had them take the hose from the garage out and up. You're going up, so that you're thinking, okay, now we're going, that's technically, you know, like a subfloor Division 2, and that's when I should have said, the other thing I should have said was, we have 3 divisions. So when I started saying, we don't have any stairs, we need to get to Division 2, from the outside, they're going to Division 2, the second floor windows, but it's 1, you know what I mean? So it's like, so I started running to the windows saying, gotta go up 1 more, and that's when they had to use 21's ladder
I got you.
to get him. That's
Right,
why
they're thinking they're setting up
from the
ladders
outside
from the
and what
outside
I have
for
on
Division
inside.
2, but really
That's
it was
where we initially
Division 3.
went when we went to Division
Can you go
2.
back to that other picture?
We put ground
So you can
ladders
see the
in
front door right there.
Yeah, see, this is the curb, and then
So
here's
that's where
us
they
coming
made entry.
up the stairs to this front door, which from the outside is the second floor.
Right.
And then this is the landing. So this is after
That's
pretty
the fire marshal and his dog
Not used to it.
removed the carpeting. The FIU team got there. So this is where the stairs should have went up, but we have the ladder. So that's the second story landing. And you can see the burn pattern there. And then where this window is here, just to the right, that's where the exterior damage was, where they started melting, the vinyl started melting. So another unusual thing is her boyfriend, her 75-year-old boyfriend, was a retired Brooklyn fighter. So when he told me that and we started getting all the pieces together, we thought, this is unusual that we've got all these different little fires all over the place, and she's got a fireman to advise her, you know what, take the steps out. Then it could burn longer because they can't get up there. So that's why we got the state fire marshal involved. So these are kind of grainy pictures, but here's the master bed up in the third Division 3, I guess, Division/2-3. They had a huge mirror above the bed, and if you can see right here, that's like a big shard coming down. The rest of it's on the bed, but something to keep in mind. You never think of a large mirror above the bed. Now we're doing overall in here, and you get cut down with a nice piece of
I like it.
mirror. So right next to the bed, so there's a pour pattern all through here. So that also, you can see it leading right here. So all this is a pour pattern leading into here, leading into the bathroom. Which is the bathroom, wait a second. Okay, so now this is looking in the bathroom door. No. Where the hell is it? Okay, there's the bed right here. is going into the bathroom. So now you're looking in the bathroom, and that's all, whatever accelerant, whatever liquid accelerant she used, it's going there. She mentioned this vacuum cleaner, which is plugged in over above the vanity here. It's plugged in this area. So the pour pattern, she made sure that she poured all over this cord. There's another pattern right here, all around the vacuum cleaner. And then up on the vanity, I don't think we have a picture of it, right below the receptacle was a bunch of magazines that she lit on fire to like maybe do something with the receptacles.
Medic 43 dispatch.
So she thought she had it, you know, pretty well dialed in.
43 is around.
There was, like, she said she was remodeling. She had paint cans with the lids off.
Yeah, she had
all
only
over
been
the
in there
place.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a lot of furniture. There was a lot of like paint cans and things around, looking like she was in the midst of something. So our strengths, like I said, that ladder placement, Lieutenant Wilson communicating to me that the steps are gone. You repeated it because I went, what did you say? Because I did not want to hear that. So when you said it a second time, I'm like, okay, we got to get someone above you. Having Anderson in the back to monitor Channel 2 was huge for me. Having Jeff in the seat with me was good because on the way up, I have a nice map of that whole complex up there, so I knew exactly what we were looking for. Richmond Heights, they did a good job getting up there, hitting the hot spots for overhaul after you guys got up there and started the overhaul after your initial knockdown. And then who was there? So McDaniel and Unger were our initial investigators. And once we started seeing all these pour patterns and I got up there, I said, we gotta call the fire marshal. So he came in with his dog. Turns out the dog went nuts. And I called him and I said, we have a lot of different fires upstairs, but you can't get the dog up there. He said, it doesn't matter, we'll bring down the evidence to the dog. So what they do is they just dig out areas, brought it downstairs into the garage, and the dog went nuts. And everything that they brought to him, the dog went nuts. And so he said, slam dunk. When they took it to the lab down in Columbus, they came up negative on everything. So he has no idea what she used. She used some sort of liquid accelerant, but he couldn't figure it out. Now there was bug spray there. I mentioned that, he goes, no, that's not,
Really?
you can't. Yeah.
The dog is better than the computer.
I trust the dog.
Yeah, and you could see, I mean, I just gave you a few pictures, but the 90-some pictures we had, you can see there's an obvious pattern of some liquid and the way she led it to that vacuum cleaner. So they're currently, she's in jail and they're currently prosecuting. So the weaknesses, I kind of trapped myself in when Jeff and I pulled off to the D side, but I wanted to keep that open for the truck. And then I could have grabbed a second radio, but I knew Will was right behind me, so it worked out. And then Station 2 being out. So, but we handled it well with them. They were probably 20 minutes after the fact. All right, any questions? All right, good.